had a recurring thought that I'd like to propose to you, an educational cooking show. I envision a confederacy of women with an estrogen safety net.
I like the sound of that.
Food itself is like a passport, and so we go on this journey together. Welcome to the French Chef. I'm Julia Child.
Welcome to my kitchen. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Irini Tzortzoglou, and I'm the 2019 winner of the BBC cooking program, Masterchef. I've asked you to join me today to celebrate a very special lady, a pioneer, a woman who in the early 60s introduced cooking to television. Without her, cooking perhaps wouldn't be such a prime viewing program on mainstream TV now, and even my own career, which I've enjoyed in the last few years, might have never happened. So as a personal tribute to Julia and to mark this wonderful series, I cannot urge you enough to watch it. I've been privy to the first 2 episodes, and I will be certainly glued to my TV. Let me show you how to make a classic recipe of Julia. It is a very high-end French dessert. It was all the rage at the time of the 60s when she was in France, and it's quite dramatic and very simple at the same time. So, crêpes Suzette, light and fluffy butter. It is firstly fried on a dry pan, and then it's finished in an orange sauce, which is combined with butter and sugar to beautifully flavor the crepes and caramelize them. And at the end, for added drama, some liqueur, orange flavored, or brandy, or rum, or is added and flambéed in front of the customers. So thank you for joining me. Let me show you how to make it. You will be able to see the amounts, the quantities needed. It is a Julia Child recipe, but my take on it, the measurements are metric, so they should be very easy for you to follow. So let me turn my gas little hob on. I made some crepes before now. Technical issues, they always happen on live. Oh, it was working earlier. I made some before, but I kept some butter behind just to show you, there we go, how to make a couple. The recipe was a revelation to me because I've always made crepes, but what Julia did, and obviously the French did that, only I didn't know, which shows you we're never too old to learn. She adds water, and the water in the butter makes it really light and fluffy, because the last thing you want is solid, soggy crepes in the beautiful orange, liqueur-enriched sauce that we have at the end. So all you need is a dry pan, but it needs to be non-stick, really. Now, Julia tells you, she was very precise. She said, fry it on one side for 45 seconds and on the other 15. And actually, it works pretty well. Now, I came across a couple of recipes of hers, and I will tell you which one I chose. But basically, we put the butter in the pan and we swirl it around. You will see in a second. We would rather put a little bit more extra rather than put too much at the beginning. So I've got a couple of holes here which I need to close. And here you have it. You just need to cover the bottom of the pan and we'll let it cook. When it starts lifting on the sides and browning slightly, all you need to do is to gently remove it, turn it the other side, cook it for 15 seconds. The butter she suggests, and she's absolutely right, you need to make a little bit in advance. Actually, you can make it overnight and leave it in the fridge, even better. because, as she says, the flour particles need to absorb the liquid so that they become, I suppose, creamier. They have a fantastic mouthfeel because you cannot feel the flour at all. It's just a beautiful creamy mixture. So this is what I did. And if I show you, you see the crepe is already lifting. It doesn't look liquid on the surface. So it should be ready to turn over. Now, she did show off, I think, at some point, flipping it over, but I'm not as adventurous. By the way, she was a formidable woman, very tall, very unlike me. And I could see from the 2 episodes that I watched that she really did it for the love of it. You know, you need to think she was the first one. So money was not an issue. In fact, well, I mustn't give too much away. Money was not what drove her. It was really the love of good food. And you know, allegedly at that time, so you see, it is ready and we can make the next one. At that time, allegedly, the American diet consisted of dried pork chops, overcooked pot roasts. The vegetables were tinned beans and corn, and the sweets and salads always comprised of jello. So imagine a woman who comes over from France and loves the new world that she was exposed to and sees it a little bit as a mission to teach Americans how to eat well. Because there was wealth there. You know, there were people who had the money to afford to eat well and cook well in their homes, but the knowledge wasn't there. So what a wonderful thing she did to bring a new world of food, firstly with her book, and then with her TV series. The first one was called The French Chef. Amazing woman. And really, Sarah Lancashire is just a dream to watch. Yeah, I've already started recommending the show to everybody I know. So you see how easy it is, and I don't know if you saw how light and fluffy, they're almost transparent. So the secret is not to have a very, very hot pan, medium hot, I guess, and really your butter must be well rested. So we have enough for one more. And they're so lovely to make, and youngsters love them, and everybody, without alcohol, mind you. You can make the orange sauce and not use the alcohol, but as a dessert, wonderful. I made them a couple of days ago, and I finished, as I will do here, at the plating point with a bit of chantilly cream. Beautiful. As easy as this. Oops. Having said that, they are so delicate, and that is their beauty, but be a bit gentle when you turn them over. Don't just grab them like I did. And I already made the sauce because I didn't want to take valuable time of yours, but you need the zest of a couple of oranges, about 200 ml of oranges, to make for this recipe. 75 grams of butter and 75 grams of sugar. And you let that cook a little bit so that it incorporates, you know, all of it emulsifies, and because it becomes a beautiful sauce. So what we will do now, it is here, but we will warm it up a little, and then we will put our crepes in here to finish them off. So in fact, you see that you could actually have made the crepes. I mean, if you really want to do this and entertain, you can have all your crepes ready because they get warmed up in the sauce in the pan. So you don't have last minute panic. Have them ready in your fridge from the day before. Bring them out about an hour before you want to use them to bring them back to room temperature. make your sauce, have it ready, and last minute, all you need to do is heat the sauce up and add your crepes in. And last thing, maybe the alcohol if you're using it. You don't have to though, I repeat. However, it's an indulgence, it's a wonderful thing that finishes the dessert off. So we take a crepe and we put it in the sauce. We want it really to go, everywhere over the crepe, because you could fold the crepes and put them in the pan, but then the sauce won't go in every crevice. So look, it is floating in the sauce. I cannot turn it too much because I will lose the sauce. Now we don't need it to be very high, just a little bit warm. And all you do is use your spoons to fold the crepe over in the manner that you will serve them later. So you really fold it twice, each crepe twice. This is very satisfying, I must say. Now, we won't do them all right now because you get the gist of it. And we want to get to the fire bit, my favorite part. Certainly my step-grandchildren were fascinated. We had to teach them that that's a no-no. We don't go near flames. But everybody loves a bit of theater. So you can see, you can put them close to each other and continue. Oh, the smell, you just cannot believe. I mean, oranges are gorgeous things anyway. But of course, you have the flavor of the butter, the zest. And now we want a bit of flame because we will add 40 ml of your favorite tipple. Orange flavor like Cointreau Grand Marnier is beautiful, of course. But as I said, you can use brandy or rum. So I make them quite boozy. And then here comes, the bit of the theater. Only I have a little bit too much sauce, and I think we're going to get it in a different way. Oh, sorry, we're not getting the theater. It works every time, but not on live. So the flavor is all there. I think I actually flooded my pan by not using all the crepes. So there was a lot of liquid, and that is why we lost the alcohol inside the quantity of the orange sauce. Trust me, the flavor is all there. And because we didn't burn it, in fact, the alcohol is also there. Now, you might not like that. So a couple of days ago when I made them, I let the alcohol burn completely. It caught fire, and instead of closing it with a lid, I let the alcohol, evaporate. But it's totally up to you. I also like to taste the orange liqueur. Now, how do we serve them? Very simple. Normally, you really don't need anything else. I'm not so sure that the French, whenever I've eaten them in France, I haven't been offered something like a chantilly cream, but I personally like it. I love to break the acidity of the orange with a bit of creaminess. Obviously, you want to offer a little bit of the sauce, but all we need to do is to pipe a little bit of chantilly cream, and really for that Masterchef little touch, a little bit, an edible flour or something like that, and your dessert is ready. Now, if you if you don't trust, I don't think many of us take gas burners to the dining room. So perhaps you don't want to attempt to light fire. Um, in any case, it might fail like it did now, but it is good to do it. And if you manage to burn a little bit of the alcohol, even better. So, Julia Child's Crêpes Suzette, without the drama this morning, but there will be plenty on your TV from tomorrow because this amazing series called Julia is starting on Sky Atlantic Tuesday the 12th, tomorrow, and it will be live streamed on Now TV as well. Now, for a chance to win of one of Julia's books, look at the comments below and take part. I certainly will. Thank you very much for joining me today. Enjoy the show. It was lovely to have you with me. All the very best. Enjoy, Julia. Thank you for the inspiration, Magic Lady, wherever you are. Bye.